I don't even know if I know how to vlog anymore. Oh, girl, it's too bright. Nah. For those of you that do follow me on other social media platforms, not just here on YouTube, if you follow me on Twitter or Instagram, I'm way more active on Instagram. But for those of you that follow me on those other social media platforms, you know that I haven't just vanished into thin air. But I have been taking a lot of time just to try to make it through the first trimester. I'm still having morning sickness, and today I am 13 weeks and 4 days, I think. And we will be finding out the gender in a few weeks, which I'm gonna vlog all that. I'm gonna vlog the gender reveal, all the things, vlogging everything. And I knew that this week I wanted to start back picking up the camera, trying to get back into the swing of things and get some content put together so that I can start uploading back at my normal Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule. But I'll definitely have more vlogs here on the channel than anything, because I want to make sure that I'm able to get as much memories as I possibly can to cherish and hold on to. And I know you guys like to follow along with us on our journey. The doggies are begging to go outside, so let me send them out. So while I stand here and watch them like a hawk, because Rosie likes to wander. So I'm trying to think of what I need to update y'all on. Y'all will see a clothing haul this week. I just got some new stuff in today that I'm really excited about, and I tried on majority of it, and I've already worn 2 things from TJ Maxx that I bought. So I'll be filming that tomorrow. You'll be seeing everything within around like the same time. So I'm not sure if you've seen that before this or not. I'm not really sure the order that stuff's going up in. But there is something I wanted to talk to y'all about that I hadn't told you yet, and when I get to sit down and chat with y'all here shortly, I will. But look at this necklace. I know I'll get questions. I'll link it down below, but it's totally customizable. This isn't sponsored, but it's Mama. You can get your name, anything, your child's name. Since we don't know the gender yet, I would have liked to have gotten a child's name on it. But this is for a campaign I'm doing for Instagram. So I was just like, you know what, I'll get Mama. That's fine. And when we have more than one kid, if that's what God intends for us, then I'll have to get 2 necklaces. Mama's fine. I didn't want my own name, so I wanted Mama. I like that. But yeah, I'll link this down below. I love it. The quality is amazing. I've washed with it. I'm the type of girl that when I get a necklace, I put it on and I don't take it off for 5 ever. You know, like I just don't take it off. Where did they go? Oh my gosh. So our grass just got cut today, and they're living their best life rolling around in it. To my pregnant mamas out there, or past pregnant, if you've ever been pregnant, was your hair dry or oily or what? Because I feel like my hair is extra dry, and I think my hair is already dry, but I washed it and blow dried it the other night. But look how dry this stuff is. I cut 2 inches off because it was just looking rough, and I thought it was getting oily quicker than normal. When I first got pregnant, I was like, oh man, my hair feels oily, but no, that's not what it is. My ends are dry. They're like super dry. And the fact that they've been lightened before isn't helping the look of them. It needs to be toned badly. So I don't know. Is that like a sign for y'all to tell what gender it is? I don't know. So many of y'all have been like guessing on social media, trying to figure out if it's a boy or girl. A lot of you are trying to act like you know what I think it is, and you're wrong, which is funny. I've had so many people say, I think that you think it's this, and I'm like, I like how y'all think for me. I think that's funny, because I think the opposite of what you just said. Obviously, we'll be happy with either or, because I keep telling Cody, I'm like, look, I can take a boy or a girl to Disney World. I can watch Disney movies with him. I can sing Disney songs. It don't much matter to me if it's a boy or a girl. I can do all the fun stuff. I ain't choosy. It's not gonna like hurt my feelings if it's one or the other. I'm gonna be excited no matter what. And then if it's one or the other, I'll either laugh because I was right, or I'll be like, okay, I wasn't right. I'm gonna laugh regardless, because I don't know, I just think it's funny. But I definitely think more people are leaning towards girl than they are boy. And a lot of people are like trying to decipher my symptoms and all the things. We are gonna do a We are going to do an old wives tale gender prediction video. That should be really fun. I'm just trying to make sure that me and Cody can do it together. So that's why we haven't filmed it yet, because Cody's work schedule is ridiculous right now. And we're hoping that it'll be back to normal by this weekend. I hope. This makeshift tripod is not working. Let me slide back so you can see me. Hopefully the camera won't fall off. I have you sitting on like 4 coasters and a bottle of vitamins. The thing that I wanted to talk to you about that I hadn't told you about was how I got pregnant. Now, let's be real here. We all know how I got pregnant. So we're not going to state the obvious, but this was something that I've only really like talked to, I don't even know if I've talked to maybe 5 people about it. I know I just recently told my really good friend Trevor, who actually is my photographer a lot of times, and he's been taking pictures for me forever now. And I was talking to him about it because we were just talking about God's perfect timing and how everything works out in its, you know, own time, not in our time. And we were just talking about that, and I brought it up to him because he was one that reached out to me when the video went live, and I shared with people that I had had a miscarriage in the past that I never told anybody about. And just the fact that, you know, that I opened up and that I lost all the footage from that past pregnancy, that because I had filmed everything. And he reached out and texted me, and he said, you know what, I think that was a God thing that you lost everything, because by you losing it, it was like you were able to let go of the situation. And I think there's some truth to that, because I was saying that towards the end of the year last year was when I finally was able to like really let go and not be so worried about being strategic and planning things out, and, you know, doing it down to like pulling up my calendar and wearing my Ava bracelet every single night and checking it and syncing it every single morning and looking at that, taking ovulation tests. I haven't really talked about all of that, and I felt like this needed to be said and people needed to hear it, because I've had some people ask for my trying to conceive journey and blah blah blah. So I kind of wanted to mention this. If you are currently trying to get pregnant, or you're planning in the near future and you want some tips, this is what I wanted to tell you. There is nothing that you can, I'm not going to say that there isn't any vitamins or any regimens or workout routines or diets you should be following to get pregnant. I'm not going to be the one to say all of this stuff doesn't work. But I will be the one to tell you, until it's time for you to get pregnant, until God sees fit for it, it will not happen. No matter how long you've been doing keto, because keto is one of the things that if you struggle with infertility, they suggest you try that. It's a high fat, low carb diet. They suggest you try that. They suggest that to PCOS patients. There's so many different things that they suggest you do. They suggest you taking all these different kind of vitamins, and trust me, I have CoQ10, all these, like literally like so many different things. Tried all the things. You need to do it this way, do it that way. You need to make sure that on this day you are being super strategic and figure out exactly the day that you ovulate, because if you're that person that thinks you can have sex any day of the month and get pregnant, you are a lie, because you ovulate one day. one day out of that whole month. You have a fertile week, but you ovulate one day. Now, you might be fertile myrtle and things just might pan out for you, and you just so happen to fall, and maybe that sperm lasts for 3 days there, you know, maybe. But if God does not want you to bring a child into this world at that point in time, I don't care what you're eating, what you're doing, what you're taking, it's not going to work. And until you fully realize that, you will be in the same boat that I was in for 2 years. And that is what I wanted to tell you about. because it wasn't until, and I never really put 2 and 2 together. I didn't sit down and really look at the calendar, how everything fell, because I didn't think I was pregnant, because obviously we've been trying for that long and it weren't working, and here we are not trying and it did. So I'm just like, I didn't really take the time to sit down and look at the dates of things. I knew when my last period was. I knew I literally remember, because my niece Aria came and stayed with us that very night that it started, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be the worst aunt ever tonight because I'm miserable. So I remember the exact day that it started. And then I started wearing my Bayyybaay bracelet again, because I was like, okay, February, we're gonna, because I like took the holidays off. I'm like, I'm not taking any ovulation tests. Those are the devil. I'm not taking those, because I would really get into my head. And I would ruin things, because I was so strategic. And I'm sure if you're in the same boat and you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I was like, okay, I'll start wearing it again, just to kind of get, you know, used to sleeping with it on again, and used to, you know, checking everything out. And I hadn't took an ovulation test probably since last summer. I hadn't really been looking at nothing. I was just like, whatever, I'm over it. That was kind of the point that I was at. Was just I was done with it. Well, when January came around, if you guys remember, I took a week off of YouTube, off social media, period. And I said I wasn't going to be uploading any that week. It was like a hiatus. I didn't really get on Instagram. I didn't check stories. I totally unplugged. Now, there were a few times I got on Instagram because I had some pre-scheduled brand deals that I still had to upload that week, but that was the only time that I got on. And when anybody seen me on, they were like, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be on social media. You're taking a break, because I felt like I was losing it. I felt like I was going through a little bit of depression, and I was talking to my friend Shaylee here on YouTube, and she's like, you know, there is a thing as seasonal depression. And I'm like, you know what? I think that's a real thing. And I definitely felt it. And I'm just like, I was miserable. I didn't feel like myself. I didn't know what to do. And the only thing that I could really figure out to do was to try to figure out who I was and what I wanted and how to get back to my happy place. So I said I needed to take a break from social media, because at that point I'm like, I can't figure out how to make it work. So it's like I'm looking at other people trying to figure out how they're making it work. You know what I mean? Like, you start comparing things. So I took that week off, and I prayed a lot that week, and I was still at a place where I wasn't completely 100% back. Well, then that Friday, we actually decided to just go and book a massage appointment. We had been talking about it for a little while. So we finally did it, and there was this package that they had, and you could do like a salt soak. They had like this tub. Amazing. Best thing I've ever done. And so what they did was they separate me and Cody. So Cody goes on to the massage first, and I go to the salt soak thing first. And I left my phone, my Apple Watch, all my tech devices, I left all that far away from me. So I had to totally unplug. And that was so nice, because you don't realize that even when you're sitting and relaxing, you're thinking you're unplugging, sometimes you still end up picking up your phone because you heard it ding. You might check something and you don't even realize it, because it's like second nature, and you don't even realize that you're doing it. So I got in that tub, and I'm sitting there, and it was, I'm telling you, it was so good. I'm not exaggerating. I don't know what they put in that water, but it was everything. And I'm laid back in there, and I'm just like, what am I going to do for the next 30 minutes? So, I mean, I'm in there for a good little while. And there was candles, and it was very dim lighting in there. And I just laid back, and I just pretty much closed my eyes for a good first amount of the time I was in there. And then I said, I'm gonna talk to God, because I need to. And I literally just talked out loud, and I remember some of the things that I talked about, one of them in particular being pregnant, and I was focusing so much of my attention and time trying to figure that out, and also not trying to give it away that I was trying to figure that out. Trying to figure out how I can still be me without telling the world that I'm so unhappy, that a part of me is missing, and I can't figure out how to deal with it. You know what I mean? So I was sitting here trying to juggle how to be this happy, perky Paige that everybody loves, and I'm uplifting all the time. Like, how can I still be this Paige, and I'm still dealing with this stuff behind the scenes? How do I juggle all of this? So I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know what, I'm not gonna juggle it anymore. I'm coming out with it. I'm just so sick and tired of being miserable and feeling like I'm walking on eggshells. And I totally gave everything up to him right then and there. And just that moment of me in that room by myself, well, I wasn't by myself, it was me and God, so I weren't by myself, but I felt, I hadn't even had a massage yet, but I felt just so rejuvenated. I was like a new person. I needed it. Like, I finally gave it up. You know, I finally gave everything over to him. I said I wasn't going to put my hands in it anymore, because I would give it to him temporarily, and then I'd go back and check on it like, God, you ain't done nothing with it yet. I guess I'll take it back now and try to do it myself. And I couldn't do that anymore. When I went back, when my doctor was like asking me, like, when was my last period and stuff, I started going back and looking at like my Bayyybaay bracelet stuff. And because my Bayyybaay bracelet was always, even though I hadn't worn that Bayyybaay bracelet in a couple months, it was still very accurate as far as finding out my fertile window and my ovulation. Way more than any app ever was. I had been using the Glow app for years, the Ovia app, and then I started using Flow last year. And each one of them gave me a totally different day for my ovulation and my fertile week. So if you're going off of that, don't, because it's wrong. Unless you have a perfect 28-day cycle, which I don't know anybody that does. And even still, I think it's going to be wrong. But it will always be off. Sometimes a week off. Way off. But the Bayyybaay bracelet never was. Once it got used to my system, it was always on track. So I finally went back and I was like, let me go look at this. Let me go look at the stuff. Let me see when I got pregnant. So I go back and look, and when it said I was ovulating, and I always tracked when we done stuff. I'll just say it like that. I always tracked that, and I looked and I'm like, it was that weekend. It was the weekend that I went to the spa. It was the week after I got off social media. Everything fell into place for me when I started thinking about it, and I'm like, this is the week that I decided to find myself. And I gave up everything to God. All the worries, all this like depressed feelings that I had, trying to juggle all these emotions that I had, I gave it all over to him. And I was totally at peace and relaxed. And I got pregnant that weekend. I don't know if that blows your mind or not, but it blew mine, okay? And if you needed to hear that, if you're struggling with something, it ain't got to be trying to get pregnant. It can be just anything in life, but you've constantly been worried about it, and you say you give it over to God and you've prayed on it, but then you're like me and you go back and take it from him and try to fix it yourself. And if you've struggled with something like that in your life, know that it's not going to work. You can't fix it. You have to give it over to God and let him be in total, complete control of it. And once he realizes you're in the place that he wants you to be in, everything will fall into place. That is the thing that I've been wanting to tell y'all and just haven't had an opportunity to tell you. And I knew it was going to be kind of lengthy, so I wanted to put it in like my first vlog coming back, because I thought it was important, and I didn't mention it in any of my pregnancy updates. But yeah, I just thought that was mind-blowing when I put everything, all the dates and stuff together. I'm like, Cody, go back and look and see what date we went to the massage therapist, because I'm like, I think that was that weekend. Like, I was all the wheels was turning, the hamster was going to town, and I'm just like, Jesus. You blew my mind. So I just wanted to share that with y'all, and hopefully it was able to help you in some way. So now that I've talked your head off, down in the comments, I would like for you guys to leave me a comment as what you want to see in the coming months. I have a very long growing list right now of content that I want to get up for y'all, but I always like to make sure to get your input. I did ask on Instagram maybe last week or week before, but I know not all of you have Instagram, and I want to make sure that I'm catering to the majority of your needs. So if there's something specific that you want, like I said, I am going to do all the baby things. I know that's what y'all are asking for right now, all baby everything. I know that. So I'm trying to give y'all that, but also some other stuff too. I don't know when the next time is that I'll put up a cleaning video. I'm just being honest with you. My house is a wreck right now, and when I get the energy to do it, I don't have the energy to pull the camera out and try to be real strategic. Because y'all know, if you've watched any of my cleaning videos, I don't just set a camera up and clean. I get angles, and I like to, you know, get cool different shots and stuff. And I don't think I'm at that place in my life right now. Maybe in a few weeks I'll be able to get back to that, but I try to give y'all at least one a month. But right now expect a lot more vlogs, which I'm sure y'all will love. You'll get to see the dogs and Cody and my bump and me. If you're wondering where the dogs are right now, of course they're here at my feet. But I hope y'all enjoyed this. I hope it touched you in some way, was able to help you, because I felt led. Like when I was sitting down trying to figure out what I wanted to post and what I wanted to put together, I thought that I couldn't start back putting out content until I got this message out. So I hope this touched you in some way. I feel like this is for somebody. I don't know who, but I feel like it's for somebody or somebodies. But like I said, I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you guys in the next one. I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day, y'all. Bye.